But so I mean, this album for them, this new EP is kind of bringing them back to, I'll just say where they belong.
Yeah.
Not that I have a problem with what they're doing, but where they belong. But at the same time, over the last couple of weeks, some of the albums I've reviewed, you kind of see that some of these bands are just taking doom just into weird places. I mean, look at this week. Morito Ergo Sum. Basically, this is, I'll call it a melodic doom band. No screaming whatsoever, and there's so much more to the music. It's not just that boom. It's not just the down-tempo drums.
Like one simple jam with a guitar.
Exactly.
It's more detailed.
It's more detailed. They're adding more to it. There's more layers to the whole thing. So you take a band like that, you go back another week in our review cycle, I had ISOL.
Oh, yeah.
They took doom, standard doom music, and added a guy who's got a damn near an opera voice.
Yeah, they really changed compared to their
exactly
past stuff, especially.
And that, that's something I had never really experienced before. Because again, if you think My Dying Bride is the standard, he's got that just depressive, off-key, he's not even singing like pitch perfect notes. It's kind of off-key, crooning.
Yeah.
So all these bands doing other things is just, it's amazing. And this seems to be the way it's going.
Yeah.
And next week, actually, this coming week, I have another review of another doom band. They consider themselves to be dark romantic doom. So it's one guy who does all the music and a beautiful female singer.
Mm-hmm.
Which reminds me of the band Omit. Same thing. Traditional doom music, but with a female singer.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? It just, a couple of years ago, I never would have even thought of, that being a part of the doom genre.
Yeah. Well, yeah, basically there's doom with the sad, depressive, clean vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the harsh growling vocals like Draconian or Swallow the
the
Sun.
death doom subgenre.
Yeah, right. And then there's then there's people that include female vocals, and Draconian goes back and forth between the two.
Especially their new album had a lot of the Lisa Johansson,
Yep.
kind of cutting in.
I feel like her vocals changed a little in that album. Not in a bad way, but didn't you say that you heard or you read about people having some issues with the album, that her voice, some people didn't like her in the new album?
Yeah, but I think that was more because you got to think on the older albums, she kind of would sing a line or two in a verse, or sing a verse, and then she would just disappear for the rest of the song, and it would just be growling.
Right.
On the new album, they let her sing at the same time, so it was kind of a back and forth,
she
which I really
takes
liked.
over,
because you and I always talk about, we've probably said this 600 times, this Beauty and the Beast thing, and I think it plays off each other so well.
Right, now that she's more involved.
Exactly. So I liked it, but of course, a lot of people
you're always going to
didn't.
have your critics. Yeah.
But I think the entire subgenre of melodic doom seems to be this ever growing thing now, where people are just trying to take the standard, and I think that's I kind of got sidetracked, but the idea that people are not just going to do the same old thing, which you went through this journey of black metal, and you remember the first band you were listening to, it was all the same. It was the shitty recording, it was just distorted guitars, the black metal screeching vocals, it was all the same. Then all of a sudden you got to something like Ogun, where the production was very, very clean and the songs were a little more detailed.
Yep.
Now you take that and compare it to the traditional sound of, let's say, Gallhammer.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even tell they're the same genre anymore.
Yeah,
you
right.
know that at the base they are.
Yeah. And then even if you look at someone even bigger like Dimmu Borgir, and they're adding symphonic metal to it and orchestrated instruments to it, but they also are considered to be in that
that black metal
genre.
I guess the question that really comes out of all of this, and the black metal and doom, at what point does it cease to be black metal or doom and start to be something else?
Yeah, and that's why I feel like genres will never stop being created.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's always going to be something. It's just funny to think. At first, you started out by saying, "Oh, is it rock or rap or R&B?" And now it's well, what kind of rock?
Is it alternative? Is it punk? Is it ska?
Indie, right? Yeah, there's so many, and then so on and so forth.
And you can't get away from that, even in metal.
Yeah.
So you got all these bands trying to do something new.
Yep.
They're taking an existing genre and putting a twist on it, but do you have to rename that? So now these bands were calling it melodic doom, but what eventually are we going to call it? Undoom
or black metal or something.
Black metal's going to turn into gray metal.
Something.
It's just this, but that's what's also great is it's a constant evolution. Yeah. So there's no time for it to go stale anymore because so many bands just go, oh, I really like doom, but I'm not really a fan of the screeching or the growling.
Right.
Let me try it with a female singer. Or let me try it with orchestral instruments.
And you go until you find your own what you like.
Yeah.
Have all that. Now the only thing that worries me about how this constantly changes and people are always trying to do something new is that I'm always afraid that they're going to go too far with certain ideas. Like, for instance, hardcore and crabcore.
Crabcore.
Was that the correct term?
Yeah, crabcore. The band Attack Crabcore.
Yeah. Things like that, where people get a little really carried away. Actually.
Well, I think that the good thing about some of these genres of metal, in particular, if you take doom, let's say the melodic doom movement goes too far, all it's going to end up turning into is classical. Because they're just going to keep adding more orchestral instruments, and eventually it's going to be, doom metal featuring Yo-Yo Ma.
Yeah, we're just going to be going back to Beethoven and Mozart. And
exactly. Whereas, unfortunately, thrash got turned into hardcore and metalcore and crabcore, and all the bands who couldn't do what Slayer does decided to just, we're going to play what Slayer plays, but we're only going to play it with 2 chords, and we're just going to play really fast and really loud, and we're going to call it awesome. But, you're right. It's kind of scary just to think where this is all going to go.
Yeah, like it's it can go in a good direction and a bad direction.
For now, I applaud some of these bands, and again, I just want to name just a few. Omit, My Dying Bride coming back to theirs, Morito Ergo Sum, Grey November. Okay. ISOL, because they might be my doom album of the year, and I've heard some great stuff even just this week, and I think ISOL still might be, all these bands are probably like my top 5. I think I just named my top 5 doom albums of the year. But I'm curious to see where it goes next, and all these bands that we keep hearing. In the last couple of weeks, you've had bands from all over the fucking world.
Yeah.
You had Australia, you had Greece, you've had Russia,
a couple in America.
Yeah, a couple, just a couple though. But, I think that's great, so you never know where all this is going to go.
Yep.
But something to ponder for next time. But next time, we actually have a very special topic for next week.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get down, we're going to boogie, and we're going to talk about our 5 favorite metal albums of all time. We're each going to pick 5. And, I just want to put the disclaimer out there now. Didn't say 5 best metal albums of all time. But our 5 favorites, like the ones we can never get away from, the ones that are always on standby.
Yeah.
Like I have these 5 in my car 99% of the time because I know that if I don't feel like listening to this CD anymore, this one goes in.
Yep.
So we're excited about that, and hopefully we don't get bombed because of it.
That one might be a little lengthy.
Yeah, it's probably going to be lengthy. And I just hope Varg doesn't listen because I don't think either of us picked Burzum. I don't want to get bombed because of this. I'd prefer not to, so please, Varg, please.
Yeah, we love you, but...
We love you, bro.
Yeah. Great, you called him bro.
Oh, my God.
Now you're going to piss him off.
Now we're dead.
No one calls me bro.
Isn't that why he killed that guy? Didn't that guy call him bro? So that'll be next week, so we hope you'll come back again and listen to that rambling, steaming pile of shit. But in the meantime, a couple things to point out. Number 1, Light and Darkness. Still love that guy. You should definitely be listening to his station.
Yep.
He has damn near everything that we review, so that's cool. Number 2, click the ads on our site so we can make some monies. Because
help us out.
Help us out. And the biggest thing I want to point out, well, one last thing. Read all the interviews we have. As you'll see, under this podcast, our interview with Scott and Andy of Phallic. We just had an interview with Cortland Runyon of North Song.
Yep.
We had an interview with the guys from As Autumn Calls, James and Andrew. Read these interviews, listen to them, check them out, because these guys are really cool guys. All of them have been really nice to us, and they've all put out some great music. And in that vein, the thing about the great music is, it's official. Soon you will be able to get the Sorrow Eternal Sampler Disc Volume 1.
Yep.
It's pretty exciting. We got ended up with 12 tracks from 12 different bands, all of which we've reviewed. Just to name a couple, we got As Autumn Calls is on there. We got Astral Winter. We got Echo Terra. Got
Appalachian Winter.
Appalachian Winter. That's fucking great. This is like, he's never on a CD officially. He said people have been trying to steal his stuff forever and make money off it. So this is official. Yep. This is all sanctioned. We're not stealing anything. So you're going to be able to get that. We're going to have it available on the site. Yep. There will be a small fee. Basically, we're just trying to cover our cost because we're doing this all out of pocket. So we're just trying to cover our cost of producing the CD and then all the shipping nonsense to get it where it needs to go. So in the very near future, you'll be able to get your copy of that.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, we're really excited. I've listened to it like 10 times already. It flows so nicely. And we really can't thank these bands enough for being on it. Yeah. And this is a good way for you guys to hear them because these are some fucking awesome people. And hopefully you'll find something you like on there. So keep an eye out for that. Well, I guess that's it. Murmaider, you don't have anything else. So what sucks is I'm pretty sure we probably forgot so many things to say this time. Yeah. But you know what the good news is?
What's that?
I'm sorry.